This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
And he knows in the back of his head, he just, hopefully we just go out there and execute the situation and the play to its fullest, and then he's always correcting and teaching, even on good plays. And so, like I said before, he's all about the details, and so if he sees one little guy look like this, he'll ask him, you good? And all that. So he makes sure that everything is always going this way, and he makes it as hard as he can out there, so when the games come, you're used to the situation, and it may hopefully be easier in that moment.
At this stage of your career, are you still learning in those situations?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, everyone has different philosophies. I've had, not being funny, but the different head coaches that I've had, they've all thought they see the game from a whole played out differently. And, some feel on 3rd and 5 to do this, and some want this, and some, and where the ball goes on certain plays, and when to take timeouts, when not to, and what we want to do clockwise. Everyone has different philosophies, and so yes, I'm always learning, and always putting things down in my notebook. Someday, if I, want to teach my boys or somebody else, some other young quarterback someday, when I'm an old guy, hey, this is some of the things that we saw and what we learned, and just anything I can gain, because we got guys that have been in a lot of situations and a lot of big games, and so we've learned a lot from them.
Is it the same when they take film on the side? If you don't play in a preseason, is that the same? They always say, well, when you're on the sideline watching, you can learn, whether it's watching Jared or whatever. Is that take us through what are things you watch in that new offense and can really conceptualize, not playing and just standing there?
I think the most important thing I can that I think I do during the preseason is I'm always communicating with Josh, whether I'm in the game or not. And so far, I didn't play in the first one, and so when a situation would come up, I'd walk over to him, while Jarrett was doing the normal sit down and go through it kind of thing, and I would go to Josh and just start asking him questions and ask him, hey, when you said this, what did you mean by that? And we're growing that way too, and so it's training camp, the preseason, all that is a big time to learn and just gain as much as you can to get better, and that's ways I feel like I can get better is learning, Josh, what are you thinking on this? Because I want to make sure, like I used to tell you guys with Gru, I was like, I'm trying to execute it exactly how he wants it done, right? Same thing with Josh. When you say that, I'm going to do my best to do exactly how you want it. What is that? And so a lot of those conversations come up during those preseasons, and then when we get to do it, I'm actually, doing it. And so then I can show that it's, clicking in my brain.
Derek, as a captain more so than a quarterback, can you talk holistically about the team? What is something that you're really pleased with? Maybe you were concerned coming into camp that this far through you're really pleased with the team grasping or getting?
Anytime you get new coaches, new schemes, you're going to have new players, right? And you don't know. We had such a over the last couple of years, I felt our team was really, really close. And when some of those guys leave and you're bringing new guys in, you hope that you can create that. And I think we talked about it in the off season about this is a time for that. This is a time for learning, and it's also a time to get to know each other and be a team. Football is a team sport, and it forever will be a team sport. And whenever you can get everybody on the same page, going in the same direction, it just makes coming to work that much better. Doesn't guarantee you wins, but it helps you for sure in those moments. And I think for me, going through all the changes and all those kind of things, I really give credit to Josh and our staff. They've done a great job of, yes, while changes are happening, doing this with everybody in that room. And obviously we have great guys, that were captains last year that'll probably be captains this year, leading that charge as well. And you got Maxx out there just grabbing, receivers, joking with them. You got, linebackers and receivers, running backs, myself, other people just sitting at the same, specialists sitting at the same table, and that's the things that you want to see. You don't want to see just little groups, except the O-linemen. You want them all to be together. But, everyone else, you see everyone kind of mingling around and all those kind of things. It's really cool to see, and I'm proud of that.
Eric, in this day and age, you have, whether it's a rookie or someone traded, a lot of braggadocious, pound the chest, coming in with a lot of energy. Zamir White seems like a polar opposite. Seems like a little kid on the first day of Pop Warner when we spoke with him. Can you just talk about, just seems like a special kid?
He is very special, and I think that, y'all probably know it deeper and better than I do, but his story, it's unbelievable what he's, gone through in his life, what his family's gone through in their life, and to see the adversity that he has continually overcome, right? He just keeps doing it. And then to see him get out there in his first preseason game and run with that violence and run with, that passion, the way that he did, it was unbelievable, And for me, being around him, I always challenge him, but I challenge him in a different way than I challenge Maxx Crosby. I'm sure you guys hear me yelling at Maxx, or he's tackling me with a red jersey on and all those kind of things and all that kind of stuff. But, the way I talk to Maxx is different than the way that I talk to him. I'll just come up to him and I'll be like, hey, I'm watching you in pass protection today. And he'll look at me and say, I got you. And it's like that meant just as much as me and Maxx yelling at each other, And, just watching him go out and work and do those things has been really fun for me to watch. I really enjoy being around him. I really enjoy, at this stage of my career, watching these young guys come in and, the guys that don't think they got it all figured out. The guys that just come in and say, I just want to learn. I just want to help the team in any way that I can. He has that, and I think that's what makes him special.
His high school coach told me that since day one in his freshman year, at the end of a practice drill, he'd sprint 40 yards, where most running backs it's 10, 15.
Yeah.
Every time he said, I got mad sometimes because we have to wait for him to get back.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that work ethic?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the other day, maybe was it Tuesday? I don't even know what day. Yeah, I don't know what day it is. But but a couple days ago, I challenged the backs too. I said, hey, put some unreal finishes on tape. And we were in group run, not even against the defense, and he's out the gate. And I said, he's got some good ones to learn from in that room that do the same kind of stuff. And so, him being in there and doing that, it doesn't surprise me that he's done that his whole life.
Derek, if you can use one word to describe what the season means to you this year, what word would that be?
One word? Fun. Hopefully fun. Football is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be competitive and all those things, but I just want to go out there and have fun with my teammates, and hopefully we can go out there and win some games. That makes it a lot more fun, if I'm honest. But at this point, I'm not getting into, competitive champion. I just want to have fun, and trust me, the work will be done to hopefully, do whatever we can do to win football games.
Derek, you mentioned Maxx.
Sorry.
Seemed like you were having fun watching Jarrett the other day in the first preseason game.
Yeah.
Especially after he ran for the touchdown. You had a celebration with him. He's kind of been through a lot the last year, getting injured, not being able to play, being traded. Has he just been an easy guy to mesh with and kind of cheer for?
Yeah, absolutely. I told him he's a 5-star dual threat quarterback coming out, and he laughed, and I think that's why we've been joking about that. So then when he ran for the touchdown, that's why I was laughing, because him and I joke about that stuff all the time. So it's been really fun to get to know him. He's a really nice person. I think y'all talked to him and have gotten to know him a little bit, but super nice guy. His wife, they got a little girl, and they're super great family. And being around him, it's been great because getting in the new offense, I can ask him questions when maybe coach is talking to a young guy or something like that. About, hey, on this, and he's like, yeah, that, because he's been in the offense, and it's helped me, go faster. Having a guy that's been in it instead of a whole room of guys where we're all just trying to learn it together. So it helps having not only Josh and Mick and Bo, having Jarrett to be like, hey, what in the past on this play? What did y'all, and that helps, and so. Watching him play, again, knowing what he went through the last, 400, 500 days, of his career and his life. I've been through injuries and all that kind of stuff. It's not fun to see him get out there and get to play again. First play he's in there, he gets smoked, and, we laughed about that. So, I'm just trying to be so positive and encourage him and, support him just like I know he will, if I'm in there.
You mentioned Maxx Crosby, and I know he's out there trying to wreck what you guys are trying to do.
Yep.
Relentlessly.
Yep.
Do you have time to just appreciate how good he's become and continues to be?
Absolutely, and I think if you were to talk to him, he would still say I have a long way to go, and I think that's what we all love about him. I think that's what all our fans, Raider Nation, loves about Maxx is he feels like there's still a long way to go, and we all will say, well, we like what we see, and the effort and the tenacity, the violence that he plays with. But I think, again, knowing what he's went through in his life, and we're still humans, and what he's dealt with personally, mentally, emotionally, and what he's overcome in his life and where he's at now, signing a new deal, taking care of his wife and their baby to be and all that kind of stuff and all his dogs that he has. I think that means a lot to him. I think he takes a lot of pride in that. And so I'm very proud of him and proud of the man that he is, more so than the football player. Great husband. I see him always trying to talk to his wife or girl, sorry, soon enough, and all those things. But I'm just so proud of him, and when he came into who he is now, it's really cool to see.
Hey, we're gonna work our way back. We're gonna go to Sean, Levi, Adam, Alan, Paul, Chris. All right. That's how we're gonna do it. Okay.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Yeah. It's like,
You've switched games a few times.
Yes. Yes.
Regardless of what the intricacies of the scheme are, what sort of approach and process have you come up with for yourself when it comes to just learning this game? Like, what's your initial kind of onset when I'm learning this and eventually getting better with it over time?
It is like a full dive into what does this playbook say? Because I can, I need to get on the same page as Josh, like right now. As soon as he's the coach, boom, I got to get on the same page. And so it's a complete dive into that. And then as I'm going through it and working through it, I can, hey, is this like, I ran this in the past because he's watched all my film. I'm like, hey, we ran this against, Tampa Bay. Yes, that's just like that. And so are you good if my eyes do this, and all that. So it's just a complete dive into that. And I have one of the best athletes of all time to watch on film running the offense, and Tom, like, what a gift that is for me to be able to watch and see his eyes and see the shoulder movements and the little details, not just running the football play. There's a lot of guys that can go draw it on the board. You hope, you can draw it on the board, but, the little details, the little shoulder movements that you get comfortable in when you've been in a system a long time, and learning that and trying to take that step and doing those things. And so it's just a complete dive into that. And then if I can draw back to help it make sense in my mind, I do it that way.
You were talking about how you've gone through a lot of coaching schemes, a lot of players going into your ninth season, you've basically seen it all. Is there something you can pick out from this training camp potentially that you haven't experienced so far in your career?
That's hard. I think just one thing that stands out, it's not that it wasn't happening before, but one thing that they really emphasize is just the details of everything. Like, Josh doesn't miss anything, like, with anyone on the team, not just the offense, like the footwork, the fundamentals, all those kind of things, the way the drills, and all that kind of stuff, like the details and the depth that he goes into. He's fully submersed in football, and not just on the quarterback, not just on the receiver, not just on the offense, but the whole team, special teams. Like, he knows every detail of everything being said in that in our building, and I think that's special. That's really, I would say his greatest strength is that he literally knows every detail of every assignment. I'm sure he'll tell you he makes mistakes, but to me, that's been really impressive to me.
It's been a little bit since we saw Darren out there. Are you guys at a point where preseason or training camp reps don't matter that much for you two, or is there going to be some catching up to have to do when he's out there?
Well, if I'm honest, I think they always matter, but there is definitely a comfortability and the chemistry, the timing, throw it 5 yards more in front of Darren because he's so fast, that kind of thing. And there definitely is that. I never want to say that we have it. I don't ever want to say that because I think that there's stuff that him and I can always grow in. But I have thrown him, 200-300 balls in games and thousands beyond that in practice. And so there is a workload there, so that when he comes back out and all that kind of stuff, it's normal. That kind of thing.
Derek, you're back in Allegiant Stadium on Sunday. You have 2 years under your belt in the building. Can you talk a little about some of the distinct nuances or interesting things about the building that have caught your attention and what you're looking forward to seeing back in the building?
I was a rec major. I didn't do the architect thing. I think what I love is that it's all black. I think that's what our stadium should be. Everything is black everywhere. I also love, what I do love is I took my wife and my kids on the tour when we first got here, or whenever that was, and just the tributes to the former players all across the walls, and that's the Raiders, right? Like, once a Raider, always a Raider. And Mr. Davis has always said, has always taken care of like former players, and I think that's super cool. Like, when they get to come back to a game, like Seawood sees his face up there, or different guys see their face and their number, and their families someday can come to the stadium and, hey man, that was my dad, that's my grandpa, or that kind of stuff. I think that's super cool, and that's what makes this organization special. Is it's always a family. I still talk to George every day. I see George, I talk to Charles all the time, and countless other guys. Bill Romanowski, just talked to him. Like, it's so cool. Just like it's almost like that. It's almost like that college feel, where the older players, they're still always a part of it, And I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but I know that here it's a special place. So I do appreciate that about our stadium.
Derek, from the outside looking in, adding Devontae to Hunter, to Darren,
Yeah.
Josh, it would seem like, well, you've got all the shiny things you need.
Yeah, right.
You pull back. How important really is then what the offensive line can do to what you guys want to accomplish?
Yeah, absolutely. And that I love giving those guys credit. I love talking about it because they don't get it, And I think, Paul, like for them, it's exciting for them to add those guys because then they take pride in, like, all right, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, let's help them out, that kind of stuff. And that's cool to see, as a team kind of thing. And so it's vitally important. You always want to win the line of scrimmage in football. And so we got to be able to do that. And, hopefully we can do that. And I have full trust and belief in those guys. I always do, that they can do that. And hopefully I can, get the ball out when I need to, make somebody miss when I need to, all those kind of things to help them if I need to. But, I'm proud of those guys. But, yeah, you always, you count on winning the line of scrimmage, especially in this league. You got to win the line of scrimmage because there's so many good defensive fronts that can just ruin a game no matter who's on the outside.
Derek, I was just curious how, it's no secret the struggles in the red zone in the past, how maybe this new regime, a different role, different attack, different maybe roles for different players, just kind of the difference in that third zone, or red zone offense. Red zone.
Yeah, I mean, we're working at it. I can tell you that, and Josh has a plan, which I will not unveil at the mic. I don't want to get in trouble. But, I think that one thing I do know is that it's being taught, it's being coached, and our guys are learning it and executing it. And that's, just being honest from practice. It's something that's emphasized, all the time. It's something that we emphasize in the spring, emphasize now, and it doesn't guarantee again that we'll have that success, but we got to go do it in the games. And so we're working to get as clean on that as we possibly can, so that when the games come, that we can be more productive.
You got one.
Derek, Devontae is always going to make plays. From your vantage point, what is that battle between Devontae and Nate like?
Oh man, they've been going at it, and everybody knows how I feel about Tay. Just as being one of my best friends. But Nate, I told him all the time. I tell him, I'm so proud of you, man. Keep working, keep going. He's a guy that's been over to my house a couple of times. I've been able to talk to him. He's been able to share with me in his life and his journey and all this kind of stuff. And his mom is great too. Shout out. But I think watching someone when Devontae walks up in a one-on-one, right? Nate's like, I want the rep. He's not backing down. He's like, I want that challenge. If it was up to Nate, he'd guard everybody. And I think that's what you want out of a DB. And it doesn't matter. You guys have been at practice. If Devontae makes a play or whatever, then boom, Nate's like, I don't care, next play. And then boom, he'll knock one down. And that's the competitive spirit that you hope happens on your team. You never want people's confidence. I mean, if I was guarding Tay all the time, my confidence would be shot, but these guys, keep competing, and Nate is always, all right, here I go. He's going to get right back in his face, and he's going to cover him and do his best. And that's one thing I love and respect about Nate, and I think that he's flashed a lot of talent and ability. So hopefully it translates into the season for him, and he can have a good year.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Way to work with Hunter on that pass.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.